All right. We had to cut off that a little early because we just landed Malcolm Simpson right when I started off this live stream, folks. Um, Hold on, folks. Hold on. I gotta I gotta check this out real quick. Malcolm Simpson, the guy I made a video about earlier today, just committed to Nebraska, 4-star defensive lineman out of Hitchcock, Texas. Breaking news right here on the live stream. What a way to start off, guys. What a way to start off this live. Hold on. Let me check out this real quick. Everybody, welcome into the live. It's been a little while, and again, that's one way to start things off. Just released a video on the channel about Malcolm Simpson that I pre-recorded earlier today because I knew he was gonna either commit today or tomorrow. So feel free to check out that video that I literally just released on the channel 2 seconds ago. But man, welcome in, guys. Malcolm Simpson just commits to Nebraska. That's who we were going to talk about, along with some other guys. Dawson Merritt, Michael Terry, a bunch of stuff going on with Nebraska recruiting. Let's see what the chat is saying. Sorry about, yeah, we got Vince here. Nice commit. Minden, Nebraska. Yep. Malcolm Simpson just committed. Yeah, man, I mean, just wild news. He was waiting until I went live. He was waiting exactly until I went live to announce that. Huge commitment there from Malcolm Simpson. Me, not at all. I haven't paid one bit of attention. He said, in Kool-Aid stained clothes, passed out with a broken pitcher on the floor. Man, Justin, I love you, man. Yeah, absolutely. That is how you start off a live stream. I swear I didn't time it like that. I swear that wasn't something that I was thinking about. I thought he was going to commit tomorrow, but I just released a video that I pre-recorded earlier. So let's just get into it. Talking about Malcolm Simpson, talking about these other guys. I'm going to share with you my screen here. I was going to talk about Malcolm Simpson later in the broadcast, but I guess we'll just get to it right now. I'm sorry, a little bit laggy here as I show you guys my screen. So Malcolm Simpson, 4-star, 3-star, and of course on 3 has him as a top 200 player. So yeah, he's the real deal. Looking at his offer list, I mean, pretty solid offer list. Nothing really to write home about. Houston, Texas A&M, USC, Baylor's in there, Texas Tech, as you can see. Couple others, Kansas, Baylor, Texas. I don't believe Texas actually offered him, but they had some interest there. So yeah, Malcolm Simpson, kind of one of those underground Texas players. A lot of times, a lot of these 4-stars from Texas, they don't have as many offers as they deserve. Malcolm Simpson, obviously, again, a real deal prospect. He can play anywhere on this D line, D end, nose tackle. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if they could even put him at jack. So yeah, really versatile guy. And I talked about in my video, this dude is just a straight brawler. He's a player that thrives bringing down the quarterback. Kind of just a big nasty, the type of guy that you want in the Big Ten on your D line. That's what Malcolm Simpson is. So yeah, really big news there with his addition. Let's go to Twitter, see what everybody's saying about that. But yeah, literally right when I started off. Here Bryson DeChambeau. Hey, who was watching that U.S. Open today? That was insane. So yeah, man. Tim here says, powerful, athletic D-line who plays all over. Yep. And also plays on the basketball court. Yeah, I didn't mention that actually, but yeah, he plays anywhere. He also plays basketball. So yeah, Malcolm Simpson commits right when we start off this live stream, folks. That is the real, that's a real deal. Real deal stuff right there. All right, man. Let's see what the chat is saying. We'll take it back over to me. That is something. John says, thanks, congrats, on your graduation. Thank you very much. How good of a player is this guy? I mean, he's a 4-star. So, yeah, I mean, he's the real deal. He's a great player. So, yeah. Melissa says, go Big Red. What happened to Ethan Nation? Yeah, so Ethan Nation, really interesting situation. I don't think it's a done deal that he's off the team. Obviously, right now he's not listed with being with the team. From what it sounds like, from when I was talking to some people, it looks like an issue off the field, perhaps even with academics. He has not entered the transfer portal. It's nothing like that. Obviously, the portal's closed right now, but I don't think that it's a done deal that he's going to not be with the team in the fall. I honestly think he will be with the team once they figure out everything that's going on off the field. So I think a lot of people, they jump to conclusions that he wasn't with the team anymore, but I think it's not a done deal. So definitely, again, there's a lot of stuff we don't know about that Ethan Nathan situation. But yeah, let's take it back to the recruiting sphere, guys. So I was going to open up the stream talking about Dawson Merritt, talking about Michael Terry. So let's just do that right now. So I'll share with you my screen once again. So yeah, the Dawson Merritt situation has been the talk recently. What's going on with Dawson Merritt? Of course, we saw that he visited Tuscaloosa a week ago. And after that, a bunch of crystal balls came in. I mean, looking at On3, look at the predictions here. He has 3 crystal balls in from Steve Wiltfong and 2 Alabama beat reporters. And right now, they have him listed at, I believe, a 96% chance to land Dawson Merritt. We later learned in the week that Nebraska got on a Zoom call. They met with him virtually. It was Matt Rhule, Tony White. I believe there was a couple other assistants on that Zoom call, and they met with Dawson to answer any of his questions. They were talking about his playing time. They were going to talk about what he can expect going forward, what his NIL compensation is going to be. And from what it sounds like, Dawson Merritt got all of his questions answered and more. And yeah, I really like our odds. I can't believe that they still have him as a 96%. Of course, I think he's going to commit sometime this week. I think it might even be tomorrow, so watch out for that. But Dawson Merritt, guys, this guy's the real deal. I mean, top 100 recruit. This guy is honestly a borderline 5-star prospect. He's a freak athlete. We have not had a talented edge rusher commit like this in a very, very long time. He changes that if you can land a player of his stature. So yeah, Dawson Merritt, man, this would be huge. And in my opinion, I want him more than Michael Terry. And I know that might be a hot take because Michael Terry is obviously my number 2, but I always talk about D-line and O-line. That's the 2 positions they need to recruit a high level. Dawson Merritt, he's listed as a linebacker, but he's going to play on that D-line probably as an edge rusher. He fills that hole that you're looking for. So, yeah, Dawson Merritt, again, looks like Nebraska has a chance there. Again, I'm not going to sit here and bullcrap you and be like, yeah, Nebraska's going to land him 100%. Like, no, there's still a chance that Alabama lands him. Probably a better chance that Alabama lands him than Nebraska lands him. Again, when he was in Tuscaloosa, I believe he may or may not have told current Alabama commits that he was probably going to commit as well, because there was a current Alabama commit who basically tweeted out, there's another one coming, referring to Dawson Merritt. Now, I believe things have changed since then, but I'm not holding out the fact that he might have not changed his opinion and probably might stick it with Alabama. So, again, definitely something else to note there. But let's talk about Michael Terry before I get back to see what you guys are all talking about. So, Michael Terry, according to On3, has a 86% chance to commit to Texas. You obviously see Texas A&M in there. Nebraska at a lowly 3%. I don't really buy into the RPM very much. I don't think it's true. I don't think, a lot of the stuff they say is accurate. But Nebraska should probably have about a 25-30% chance here. Let's just go back to the fact that in May, Michael Terry was at an On3 recruiting event. He was being interviewed by beat reporter after beat reporter. And this dude literally said that if he were to commit anywhere at that very moment, it would be to Nebraska. Okay, going to Texas and seeing their Lamborghinis and going to Texas A&M and seeing their Ferraris does not change that opinion. So I think a lot of times we overreact about these official visits. Oh, his official visit was great to Texas and it was great to Texas A&M. Yeah, all official visits are awesome. Like I said in my video today, you have never heard a recruit after an official visit say, yeah, that visit was terrible. It's never happened. They're never going to say that. So we often overreact about these officials, but honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Nebraska is still the favorite to land him. Listen, here's the problem with Michael Terry. And it's the big problem that Nebraska's dealt with in the past, and it's NIL. Okay, our NIL is not as good as it should be. And right now you're duking out 2 other programs, that being Texas and Texas A&M, who have probably the 2 best NIL programs in all of college football. We know about Texas A&M, the fact that they had, 6, 7, 5-stars in a recruiting class because they gave them all about $1 million per. Like, Texas A&M probably has the best NIL collective, and then Texas is right up there. They have probably the 2nd best, if not the 3rd best NIL collective. Nebraska, as of right now, does not have a top 10 NIL collective. So that is a problem. And let's be real with ourselves. The Longhorns and the Aggies are probably offering this guy more money than we are. But if this guy wants to go to a place that's he's going to be developed at a high level, because looking at Texas, do we really believe that he's going to be developed at a high level? They've got 5 stars throughout the last decade, and they still haven't done anything. Same thing with Texas A&M. Nebraska's different. He needs to buy into that. And a lot of times, these recruits, it's really easy to be handed $1 million, $2 million and just say, okay, that's fine. and I'm going to commit to you on the spot. But you got to be smart as a recruit. You have to say, hey, I want to have money long-term. That money long-term is in the NFL. So I'm going to focus on going somewhere that's going to develop me. Michael Terry, I believe, does have that capacity in him. I believe he is a smarter kid. And I think he definitely is considering that. So Michael Terry, man. Again, a lot of people overreact. They think that Texas is now the favorite. They think Texas A&M is now the favorite. I think Nebraska should land him. But yeah, he grew up a Texas fan. That's something I'm concerned about, right? He was a Texas fan growing up. Obviously, he's from the area, I believe, right outside of Austin, or maybe even right outside of Dallas. But again, that Matt Rhule connection, man, it goes deep, and hopefully he buys into that. So, man, that's my update about those two. Let's see what you guys are talking about before we go into some of the other prospects that went to Nebraska this weekend. So let's see what you guys are talking about in the comment section. How many freshmen do you think will be starters? Dylan Raiola. I think Vincent Shavers will be in the mix to be a starter, and that's it. I mean, Ja'Cory Barney will probably be in the mix, but yeah, I don't think Ja'Cory Barney will start. So at least probably 2. Give this man a fan, perhaps a Nebraska fan, a fan for a fan from a fan made by fans. Dude, this Mike guy, he's a character. So I was in Charleston the last week, and there was a fan behind me when I was recording these videos, and every single video I'd make, Mike would comment about the fan, and if it was spinning and not spinning. Mike, you're a legend. I appreciate you, man. But no fan right here in the studio. Hey, I'm going to my college dorm in about 2 months. I'll try to install one for you. Joe says, wasn't Michael Terry number one motivation NIL money? I don't believe it was, but again, that's probably top 3, as is, the same deal for every other recruit in America. Again, it's the elephant in the room. NIL, nobody wants to talk about it, but every single recruit cares about it. And Nebraska right now, of the big 3, has the least. So yeah, that's my only concern about Michael Terry. Texas A&M and their oil money, we need Warren Buffett NIL help. Yeah, we definitely do. That's what I think Warren Buffett should do, like $1 billion every year. Why not? Nathan says, what about the Bishop Gorman trio? Yeah, so we saw that SJ visited this weekend. Douglas Utu was here the weekend before, and from all accounts, SJ's visit went very well. I honestly think Nebraska's going to land him. Douglas Utu is going to be a harder land. I think Washington or Michigan probably has better odds to get him. And then the other guy in the mix is Ale Kalanivalu, who didn't even schedule an official visit for Nebraska. So I think we're out on him. But I really like our odds on SJ Alafetuli, which is the 5-star center out of Bishop Gorman. So definitely we're going to have to see what happens there. Justin says, Joe T. Yeah, we've been praying for that for years. Unless he has written in his will, it's not happening. Yeah, Warren Buffett, man, he cares more about his stocks and the Creighton Collective, I think, a little bit more than Nebraska's. Just putting that out there. The Huskers are recruiting him as a wideout. Texas is recruiting him for defense. Yeah, that's another thing that I think is very important. Good mention there, Melissa. Yeah, Nebraska is the only school recruiting him at wide receiver. Texas A&M in Texas, they're wanting him on that defense. Michael Terry, watched him on film. He barely plays defense. He has experience in the secondary, but that's not his true position. That's not his true love. He wants to play on the offensive side of the football. So yeah, I think that is something that they're absolutely going to have to use as a recruiting tactic. So we'll see. Any punters in the future that we're going after? I have no idea, man. I mean, we have Buschini. We have Buschini, but yeah, I'm not too doubted in the punting recruiting. Sterling says, you see Adrian Martinez won the UFL MVP and championship game MVP. Yes, I did. I was watching that UFL championship. It's pretty entertaining. I mean, not a huge spring football guy, but Adrian, yeah, he's doing really well in that spring league. Wish him the best of luck. Hopefully he gets to the NFL, man. I would love to have him, get another opportunity, maybe in the preseason. So, yeah, but let's take it to some of the other guys that visited Nebraska, specifically this weekend. We'll go back to this here. So let's go to right here. All right, so this is next weekend. Let's get to this weekend. So obviously you see SJ Alafetulu, who I just talked about. I believe he had a great visit. Again, he's the highest on Nebraska of any of the people from Bishop Gorman. Christian Jones had a really good visit from what it sounds like. And I've talked about over the last couple months, I don't believe Nebraska's the favorite for Christian Jones. Notre Dame's strongly in the mix. Oklahoma is the favorite. Florida's in the mix. He visited Auburn a little while ago. So he's a guy who's really being wise about his officials. And really, when it comes down to Christian Jones, I think a lot of people expect to land him just because he's from Omaha, just because he's from Nebraska. You've got to win football games. Period. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he commits a little bit later in the process, maybe October, maybe even November. If you win football games this year, let's say 7-8 games, you'll land him. If you fail to make a bowl game, Christian Jones will go elsewhere. That's the bottom line. Isaiah Mosey was also on campus, and that was the big surprise, right? Nebraska was obviously in the thick for him a couple months ago. He committed to Oregon, looked like things were over, but decides to take a visit to Nebraska. And this is a guy who was interested in Nebraska beforehand, and really, really, really talented guy. He's not the fastest in the world. He still runs a 4.4, don't get me wrong. He's not the biggest in the world. He's only 6'1". But when you watch this guy on film, the thing that pops out at you is he, by far, any wide receiver in this class, has the best route running and the best hands. I mean, he's just making snags all over the field. Malcolm Simpson, of course, just committed to Nebraska. Cade Petrazak, the number one player in all of North Dakota. I believe as of right now, he's a Wisconsin lean. Oklahoma was also in the mix for his talents. But just like Malcolm Simpson, this guy's a mauler, man. I did a film review about him. Might post sometime this week. I mean, he's just constantly trying to come after your quarterback. So, yeah, hopefully we did really well with his visit. Didn't really see any updates so far, so definitely something to watch. Sean Hemmerbeck, honestly, do not know much about him. He was a late addition to this official visiting weekend. Big kid, 6'6", 250 out of South Dakota. A lot of those South Dakota kids, man, they're successful at the next level. Brian Tapu is a guy I expect to commit this very week for Nebraska, a Utah guy. He's originally from New Zealand, and yeah, I mean, he's just a beast on film. He's 6'8", 300 pounds, just completely destroying guys, really high ceiling, and he's still learning how to play the game of football. A couple other guys here, Bear Tenney, of course, Bryson Hayes and Connor Booth, who've already committed, and then Aiden Manitai, who in my opinion is the number one player in all of Hawaii. This guy honestly should be a 4-star. He's just a baller. He plays safety. Right now he's a Penn State lean, but hopefully we wowed him as well. But I talk about this all the time. Nebraska is trying to build that Polynesian pipeline back up. You've got to land guys like this, Aiden Manitai. He's only listed as the 6th best player in Hawaii. Let's just take a look here. Who are the other guys in Hawaii who are above him? Okay, cool. So we have Houston, Kahani, Torres. I butchered that last name, I know. He's going to visit Nebraska actually next week, so he's listed as the number 2 player. And then there's a quarterback actually number 1. That's wild. But Nebraska's had a lot of success recruiting the state over the last couple of years. So, yeah, definitely something to see. So that was this weekend, but let's take a little look at next weekend here. And I'm going to make a video about this over the next couple of days, what's going on in this recruiting weekend specifically. But you have Bryson Weber, 4-star corner. You have Michael Riles, 4-star defensive lineman. Jamarion, who just committed to us. Raheem Hutchins, 4-star wide receiver. Chase Lofton, 4-star tight end. And then a bunch of other really, really solid guys. Noah King here. He's a stud. I just watched this film right before hopping on live, man. He's a guy I believe just got offered by Nebraska, but really high ceiling as well. So, yeah, another big recruiting weekend. And like I was talking about before, this is really when it gets fun for Nebraska fans, right? If you follow Nebraska recruiting this summer, specifically June and July, we're going to see a lot of action. You're going to see a lot of commits. This is where it gets interesting. So I'm really excited to cover this. And I talk about this all the time, when it comes to other YouTube channels, right? I have a lot of respect for Nebraska YouTubers besides myself, but I don't understand other Husker YouTubers who don't cover recruiting. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like being an NFL, fan page and not talking about the NFL draft or free agency. Recruiting is half of the sport, and it's honestly one of the most entertaining parts about being a college football fan. So it's a lot of fun to just, see what happens every single day because it changes every single day. But let's take it back to the comment section, see what you guys are talking about in here. Oh, man, I got to scroll all the way up here. Any news on the JUCO quarterback? Yeah, I mean, not really anything. Obviously, some Nebraska interest there. I'm honestly, kind of tuned out on that. I believe Nebraska might add him going into this fall as a backup option. I'm not completely informed about that situation. Somebody might have to inform me, but I only watched a slight little video by Sean Callahan about that. Thoughts on flipping the wide receiver recruit out of the KC area? Isaiah Mosey. It's going to be tough to land him. His dad was really interested in Nebraska. His dad, I believe, runs an NIL collective now with, I want to say, Central Florida. So his dad actually really liked Nebraska, but I don't like our odds. Oregon is offering him more money when it comes to NIL. He fell in love with Eugene. I just think it was one of those visits where he was interested in Nebraska. He was interested in Nebraska months ago, and he said, hey, I'm just going to go try it out, see if it changes my mind. I don't think it did. Tepu, silent commit, or Rhule is cooking. Would not be surprised. Would not be surprised that he's going to commit sometime this week. How many 4 or 5 stars are you predicting to commit? Keep up the good work. Yeah, so I talked about this in my last live stream, actually. We're looking at about maybe 8, maybe 9 4 stars to commit to Nebraska, and let's just run through them. I'm going to share with you my screen once again here. So we obviously already have TJ Lateef committed, 1. We have Jamarian Parker committed, that's 2. And then, of course, now we have Malcolm Simpson committed, that's 3. Right, let's look at the other guys I think are going to commit to Nebraska. Okay, I'm going to say Christian Jones ends up committing, that's 4. I think Cade has a chance, but probably not. So we're sitting at 4. I think Michael Terry and Dawson Merritt both commit. Maybe I'm, wishful thinking there, but that's 6. And let's see here. I think Bryson Weber will commit. That's 7. I don't think 24/7 does not have him listed as a 3-star, but other recruiting sites do. Raheem Hutchins, that's 8. And then Chase Lofton, let's put that at 9. So, yeah, I'm thinking about 9 4-stars in this class. SJ is going to be a tough guy to land. I'm not going to project that right now, but I'm looking at about 8 or 9 commits at minimum who are 4-stars. So, yeah, this is looking like a good recruiting class, guys. Really good recruiting class. We'll take it back. Notre Dame's out on CJ, bro. They cooled almost all the way. They filled up quickly. Yeah, that might be the case. Again, huge connection there with Notre Dame and Westside, though. Again, I know the Rezac brothers were heavily recruiting Christian Jones, so yeah, that might be the case. Accent, but Notre Dame, when talking to the Rezacs a couple months ago, they were trying to get their boy over to Notre Dame. Ross says we're in such a weird transitional time. Where we need wins to bring talent, but talent to bring wins. Yeah, and I talk about this all the time. This is the biggest recruiting class for Nebraska. Because if you do not win games this fall, you will not have a good recruiting class in the class of 2026 or the class of 2027. It's the same thing that happened in Scott Frost. Okay, Scott Frost, when he got to Nebraska, he had great recruiting classes, got a lot of 4-stars, but he continuously lost games. And when you're a new head coach and you're going into your 3rd, 4th year, you can't sell a vision anymore. You can't sell a rebuild anymore to these recruits, so your recruiting falls off a cliff. If Matt Rhule pulls up with a 5-win season next year, we're not going to get any 4-stars. We're not going to get any 5-stars. You've got to win. So, yeah, really good comment there. Let's see. They got to land Utu. Yeah, I don't think Nebraska will land him. It's tough. It'll be tough, man. Miami, of course, or not Miami. Michigan, I believe, is the betting favorite for him. But I think SJ, we have the best odds of any of the Bishop Gorman guys. Yep, we definitely need that poly pipeline. And the Polynesian pipeline is just so important. I talk about this. I keep saying that phrase. I keep talking about this all the time. But I reiterate myself about the Polynesian pipeline because people don't understand its importance. These Polynesians, they stick in packs, right? They always go to schools like Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA, Utah. You never see Polynesian kids at Iowa. You never see Polynesian kids on the East Coast playing for Syracuse, playing for Clemson, because they want to stay close to home and they want to stay with their brothers. So we're looking at a bunch of 4-star and 5-star players every single class that Nebraska automatically has no shot at. Now they're trying to change that. That's huge. So yeah, man, the Polynesian pipeline is massive. What's your opinion on the Chase Lofton situation? Yeah, so I used to be a Millard South kid. Obviously, you see the helmet back there. So I get a lot of information about Millard South, specifically Chase Lofton, his recruiting process. And I don't like our odds of Chase Lofton. He's going on a lot of official visits. He was over at Texas A&M this weekend. Kansas State was continuously visiting him throughout the spring. I believe Florida State was also always visiting him. Those 3 have the best odds at landing Chase Lofton. And I'll talk about this in a later video, specifically about Millard South. But Millard South, of any school in Nebraska that you want to recruit high level, it's Millard South. They are building a dynasty in Class A, and they have a bunch of 4-star, 3-star prospects on the come up. Nebraska has failed to offer some of these Millard South guys. That's not, resonating well with the head coach, Ty Wisdom, over there with the Patriots. So, yeah, and if you burn a bridge with Ty Wisdom, you're not going to land Chase Loft. You're not going to land Amarion Jackson or Isaac Jensen, some of the guys in 2026 that Nebraska is going to want to land. So I don't like our odds with Chase Lofton right now, but they got to win football games, and they got to rebuild that bridge with Millard South. Chris Sweeney, Dawson Merritt. Yeah, I talked about that at the start of the live stream. We're back in on the Dawson Merritt situation. He's going to commit this week, whether that's tomorrow, whether that's Friday, I don't know, but it's going to be this week. I put Nebraska probably maybe 30-35% chance, but we have a lot better chance than a lot of people would like to say. I'm with you there. They do one video a month, and it's a Twitter scrolling subject. Yeah, talking about some of the other Husker YouTubers. Yeah, again, I respect all the other Husker YouTubers, but recruiting is the main focus, specifically in the summer, and my best videos, over the last couple of weeks, they're always recruiting videos because people care about that. So I don't get why, other college football YouTubers don't talk recruiting because, in my opinion, that's the most interesting thing. That's why I became a huge Husker fan, because I love landing big recruits. I love the whole process around that. So, yeah, I love making videos about it. This might sound dumb, but do you think being an Adidas school hurts us in recruiting? No, I think that's no, I don't think that's dumb. Yeah, I agree with you. Adidas does hurt us in recruiting because other schools such as Nike, they have a brand. They have NIL money that comes with that. Like Oregon, their NIL is strong because their connection with Nike is strong. Yeah, Adidas hurts us in a lot of ways. Trust me. Yeah, that's not a good partnership. We should have got out of that a long time ago. We should be a Nike school. We should be a Jordan school. Adidas is probably the worst of the bunch. Honestly, I'd rather be an Under Armour school than Adidas. Frost giving press conferences with Shaw in your mouth doesn't help anything. Yeah, nothing against chewers. Yeah, man, he was a big tobacco guy, big alcohol guy. Again, a lot of Scott Frost stuff that we're going to just sweep under the rug because we've talked about that in the past, but not the best guy off the field. Let's put it that way. But all love to Scott Frost. Hope he's doing well. On3 now has us at a number 32 class with only 10 or 11 commits. Yeah, and we're going to land about 10 more in the next 2 months. So, yeah, buckle up, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. We will get 2 Bishop guys. Again, it's just tough. I mean, we're talking about 5-star offensive linemen here. I don't want to jump to conclusions and say we're going to land them because they're being heavily recruited. But hopefully we can get them. Can high school kids in Nebraska freely transfer whenever and wherever they want? How's that work? Thanks. Yeah, so there's a rule now in Nebraska high school football that you've got to transfer before May 1st. However, Millard South just recently broke that rule. If you as a kid physically move to a different district, you can transfer after that. So honestly, there's no regulation. Transfers, I could go on and on about high school football in Nebraska. Transfers are ruining the sport. Millard South will go undefeated next year, and it won't even be fun to watch. So, if there's other Nebraska high school football fans in here, I'm sorry because it's not going to be fun anymore because, transfers are ruining it. Nobody does it like you. You're the GOAT, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. But let's take it back to what I was going to talk about next, and that is, hold on. All right, let's go back to the recruiting class right now for us. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at our current recruiting class and just talk about all these guys in detail. So obviously here you see TJ Lateef, number 1 here, listed as a 90 according to 24/7 Sports. Malcolm Simpson, Jamarian Parker. Again, that's a really good 3 to start off your recruiting class. The problem, in my opinion, are some of these guys at the bottom. Like, I think Matt Rhule is really good at landing a lot of these, diamonds in the rough type of players, but sometimes you're going to have misses because of that. And, Jackson Carpenter's a guy who I think at best could be a solid wide receiver for us. At worst, he'll never play, and, same thing with Pierce, same thing, honestly, with Connor Booth. Connor Booth was the addition I did not like. Connor Booth was a very strange addition to me. And we're recruiting another running back. We might get 3 running backs in this recruiting class. So I don't really get that Connor Booth addition. But, Bryson Hayes is a stud. He's a kid who literally runs a 4.2 40. Like, he's Tyreek Hill. And then Tanner Turk, I made a film review over. That guy's a stud as well. So Matt Rhule, he's really good at landing diamonds in the rough, but they're very risky. Very risky. But let's look over some of the other guys. Again, that we're going after. Again, Ale Kalanivalu, don't like our odds right now for him. Cortez Mills, don't like our odds there. Christian Jones, like our odds. Antonio Branch, love our odds there. I think Nebraska will land him. And then some other dudes. Bryson Weber, we just talked about. Corey Simmons, we're now out on. And Noah King. So, man, I mean, it's gonna be super fun. Super fun to cover this. But let's take it to the next section. Guys, start putting stuff in the comment section, questions about this season. We're going to take it to a Husker Q&A. So if you have any questions about this upcoming season, about Husker recruiting, start to put them in the comment section. Let's get crazy here talking about not only recruiting, but, what the Huskers could possibly do in 2024. So if you have any questions, let's put it in the comment section, and let's get busy, guys. So let's put some questions in there, and we'll take it to this Q&A. How big is Dylan Raiola in recruiting other players? I mean, he's huge. He's the number 1 pure recruiter for Nebraska right now. Dylan Raiola is constantly communicating with these players. I know that he was talking with Cortez Mills. He was talking with these offensive line recruits who are also Polynesian like him. He was talking with Dawson Merritt, Michael Terry. So, yeah, man, I mean, he's a big pure recruiter. Really big pure recruiter. Rudolph says, if we get Terry, do you think it hurts our wide receiver room? Will somebody leave? Yeah, I mean, absolutely somebody will leave. I mean, that happens all the time. That shouldn't be a concern. I'm not going to sit here and project who's going to leave, but it's probably going to be somebody in this recruiting class. Maybe a Quinn Clark, somebody will leave though. I mean, that's what happens. That's what happens in modern day college football. Lol, Reldman's icon. Yeah, you like that? It's something. It's something. I saw the staff just offered Chase Reynolds at a Elkhorn 2026 recruiting cycle. Yeah, so the 2026 recruiting cycle just started basically because now they can get official offers. So yeah, we saw a bunch of offers over the last couple days. Sterling says, how well does Raiola need to play for us to have a decent or good season? Yeah, I mean, he needs to play probably as a top 6 quarterback in the Big Ten. And that's not hard to do. The Big Ten is historically not a great quarterback league. He just needs to be consistent, right? He doesn't need to be a freshman All-American. He does not need to be a Heisman candidate. He needs to be consistent. That's the big thing that Nebraska has struggled to have over the last, 6-7 seasons at the quarterback spot. Having a consistent quarterback who stays healthy and, is solid every single game. Okay, Casey Thompson was not consistent. There'll be games like the Iowa game where he throws lights out, and then there'll be games where he can barely make a completion. He's throwing interception after interception. Adrian Martinez was the exact same way. Heinrich Harburg was the exact same way. There'll be games where he was a good game manager, and there'll be games where he was just horrific. So he just needs to be consistent, man. Justin says, Lincoln schools will barely be able to find a serviceable team here real soon. Lincoln need to change how they run their high school football programs. Yeah, Lincoln's a joke when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to, producing football prospects. Their programs are not good. Lincoln East is probably the best of the bunch. Lincoln Southeast, number 2. But like Lincoln High, for example, horrendous. Lincoln Northeast, horrendous. So yeah, they need to fix things. John says, where will baby Gronk flip to next? I'm thinking he might go to Minnesota next. Man, that's the funniest thing. That is the funniest thing every single day. His dad, if you're not familiar with Baby Gronk, it's basically this meme on social media where it's this kid who, think he's like a 5-star recruit, it's like 10 years old, but he commits to a new program every single day on Twitter. His dad runs the profile. Man, what a joke. But I always get a laugh out of that. How many times does Nebraska throw per game? Yeah, I think we're looking at about a 50-50 split this year. Last year was obviously more run-heavy. We relied too much on the quarterback running game. It's going to be a 50-50, specifically now that Glenn Thomas is our new co-offensive coordinator. Probably about 30 times, maybe 35 times we drop back, and then 35 times we rush the football. So, yeah. What do you think Merritt saying Go Big Red really means? The fact that he said go big red on Michael Terry's Instagram post means he's trying to peer recruit Michael Terry, right? That was simply that. Obviously, Nebraska, when they got on that Zoom meeting, when they were talking with him, they flipped his perception a little bit differently about Nebraska. We're back in his recruiting process. And here's what I think about Dawson Merritt, okay? He knows that if he's going to commit to Alabama, he'll have a bunch of other 5-star and 4-star players alongside him. And he likes that because you want to play with other good players. He's looking at Nebraska's recruiting class, and yeah, we have 3 4-stars, but he wants more. He wants another guy who's beside him. So he's trying to peer recruit Michael Terry. And I think if Michael Terry comes to Nebraska, so will Dawson Merritt. So hope that makes sense. Go Big Rhule says over under 7.5 opinion. That's a really good line. I would not touch that line. Honestly, if I were a betting man, I'd say the under. I would probably say the under. Nebraska has been the under, I believe, for the past 5-6 years. We've always got the under on these preseason wins. So I think I'd have to roll the under there, but that's a good line. I wouldn't touch that line if I were a betting man. Under for me, but they're bowling. Yeah, I agree. And again, those first 7 games for Nebraska, they look really promising. And we do this every single year. We sit here and we say, yeah, those first 7 games, really easy. Rutgers, W. Illinois, W. Colorado, W. But we've lost to those programs consistently over the last couple years. And in my opinion, I'm not going to believe it until I see it. And I got to see it at least once, us sweeping them. So, yeah. Which position group do you really want to surprise you this year? It's a battle between the linebackers and the secondary. I really do not like our cornerback room specifically. I think has no experience, no depth. Yes, we have Tommy Hill there, and I think Tommy Hill's going to be one of the better players in the country at cornerback. But after that, we have Bly Hill, who's a transfer from an FCS program and coming off an injury. We have Larry Tarver, who's a true freshman, Jeremiah Charles, who's a sophomore, or I guess a redshirt freshman, and Ethan Nation, who probably won't be with the team, or is at least not with the team right now. So that cornerback room, very inexperienced, and same deal with the linebacker group. I mean, inexperienced as well. So both those groups, I want to surprise. I think a lot of people honestly are overrating this defense. I saw Phil Steele, put us as potentially a top 20 defense. I don't think so. As of right now, no, because our linebackers are just inexperienced, and so is our secondary. But I like our safety group. I love our D-line. Just hoping those 2 groups can surprise me. Really good question there. Troy says over 10 wins is a real possibility. Great wide receivers. Yeah, I think, listen, if you do everything right as a program, okay, if Dylan Raiola stays healthy, if you do not lose games that you have no business losing, such as Colorado, such as Rutgers, such as Illinois, yes, 10 wins is a real possibility. But will we do that? I don't think we will. I think we'll probably drop a game in those first 7 that we shouldn't. We'll probably lose to Wisconsin. We'll probably lose to Ohio State. That's 3 right there. So, yeah, I don't know. But if you do everything right, you could win 10 games for sure. Which game is most important for us to win? It's Colorado. It is Colorado. 100%. 100% Colorado is the most important game for Nebraska to win this season. Just to start off 2-0, when was the last time we started 2-0? That's a fun trivia question. I'll wait 10 seconds if you guys can answer it correctly. 2016. 2016 was the last time Nebraska started a season 2-0. For reference, I am 18 years of age. When Nebraska last went 2-0, I was 10. It's a long time ago, folks. So, yeah, Colorado is most important. Just to beat Deion Sanders as well. I mean, you got to beat him after what he said about our program. Yeah, I mean, you've got to win. Mike says, I've been told Dawson Merritt is wearing Nebraska gear at Blue Valley football practices. Again, I'm not buying too much into that. Of course he's wearing Nebraska gear. He's interested in Nebraska. We give him a bunch of free swag. Again, I went to Millard South. I went to school with Chase Lofton. Chase Lofton would come to school every single day wearing a different college t-shirt. He'd come in wearing Florida State one day, Kansas State another day, Nebraska another day. Like, it doesn't mean anything. So, yeah, I mean, he has a bunch of free Nebraska swag. But, again, that's a bit. Mario's going to be a good true freshman. I agree. Oh, yeah, Mario, I like Mario Buford a lot. I like Larry Tarver a little bit more, the other true freshman cornerback, but we do have a really good recruiting class. Freshman corners can't be relied on, though. Completely agree. Completely agree. We haven't seen a good true freshman corner since, I can't even tell you. Like, a lot of people said that Malcolm Hartzog had a great true freshman year as a cornerback. I thought he played terrible. And the only reason why people said that is because he got interceptions. But what they don't know is that the reason he had all those interceptions is that he was leaving his job on defense to try to ball hawk and try to snag something. Time and time again, he got beat on press man coverage. So he did not play good as a true freshman. I literally can't remember the last time we've had a solid true freshman corner. Did Cam Taylor-Britt play as a true freshman? I don't think he did. Yeah, we'd have to go back a ways. So yeah, I completely agree with that. Yep, you're correct. 2016 was the last time that we went. It couldn't have been 2017. It could not have been. No, there's no way it's 2017. It had to have been 2016. What is the timeline for key recruits to make their decision? June and July. These are the 2 months. Like I've said this, over my last couple of videos. In the past, the big month was December. Oh, everybody's going to commit on National Signing Day on national television, on ESPN. Gone are those days. The new National Signing Day, obviously not the real deal. It's in the summer because all these recruits are trying to fill their spot. Now with the transfer portal, they want to ensure that they have a spot, they have a place to land. So again, we're going to see a bunch of commitments in this month, specifically in July. Nebraska has 13 commits right now, 11 commits right now. By the end of July, we're going to have 20, 21, 22, like for sure. So yeah. Did Josh Kalu play good as a freshman? I can't remember if Kalu played as a true freshman. Yeah, it's literally been a minute since we've had a good true freshman member of the secondary. Again, I can't remember I think Quentin Newsom might have played as a true freshman. But yeah, Josh Kalu, I don't think he played as a true freshman. Maybe somebody can go research and put that in the comment section. But yeah, I don't believe. The cornerback is one of the toughest positions to play as a true freshman because you're just not used to the speed of the game. You're not used to the speed of these wide receivers. So I don't trust, putting out like Larry Tarver or Mario Buford within their first year. Panfilo 2, thank you for your comment. He says, I think even if we don't land 5 stars regularly, the volume we have coming on campus and putting us in top 5 lists will mean something down the road and some transfer in. You just got to win ball games. It's that simple. You got to continue to win ball games, right? We won 5 games last year and we have been in the mix for multiple 5 stars and multiple 4 stars. We haven't seen that happen over the last 2 decades for Nebraska. So something's working. Imagine how good of a recruiting program we're going to be if we win 8 games next year. It's only going to improve. You just got to win. If you win 5 games next year, you're not going to be in these top 5 lists anymore. You're not going to land solid transfers. So that's the biggest thing. It just all boils down to win football games. That's the most important part of the sport. That's why we watch, guys. That's why we watch. Win football games. How many do you think they signed the class of 25, less than last year? Oh, absolutely. I would probably say about 25, 26. It's still going to be a decent number because obviously transfers and Matt Rhule, is trying to stack on more scholarship players than they possibly can get because, they're trying to put guys on NIL deals. But so we're probably looking at about 25, 26. But yeah, less than last year. I think we had 30 last year? It was ridiculous. We had a bunch. Sterling says, I think the biggest thing for our program right now is we need a good team mentality and culture, which we didn't have under Frost. Yeah, and that really rubs off on winning football games. Not so much recruiting, but having that good culture is huge when it comes to winning. Because, story time, let's go back to the Scott Frost era. I'm a season ticket holder. Me and my dad go to most every game. I go with either my dad or my grandpa. And I've been to a bunch of Nebraska games over the last couple of years. I've seen a lot of losses. And in the Scott Frost era, I'm going to go back to Iowa 2020, I believe it was 2021. Okay, if you don't remember, that was a game at Memorial Stadium. We were up by, I believe, 15, 16 points in that ball game, and all signs pointed to Nebraska winning. Nebraska had a blocked punt for a touchdown. Iowa scored. And if you saw the culture, if you saw the head motions on the sideline, we knew was over. You could hear a pin drop in that stadium. The players had no belief in the coaching staff. They had no belief in each other. And because of that, Nebraska folded and lost that ball game despite being up, by a lot. So, it's all about culture. And if you have a good mentality, you have a good culture, that's going to reflect on practices. That's going to reflect on winning football games. And if you're down by, 2 touchdowns at halftime, if you believe as a team we're going to come back, you will come back. That's what good programs do. Nebraska's not had that since Bo Pelini. And we really didn't even have that in the Bo Pelini era. We were just so talented that we won, 8, 9 a year, but we would never beat that big team because we didn't have that high culture. So again, we're talking, Osborne was the last one, even Solich. Exactly my point. Kids clearly like Rhule want to be here, but we need wins to seal the deal. Yeah, agree completely. Like, Rhule is just so genuine. That's my favorite thing about him. He's just so genuine. And recruits gravitate towards that. They gravitate towards, a coach who really cares about them, cares about their future, cares about them on and off the field. Because a lot of times, these coaches, they only care about who you are as a player. Matt Rhule cares more about that. He cares about who you are as an individual. And I think, a lot of times these players, they love that. They gravitate towards that. And I think that's the reason why, we're in the mix for a lot of these guys. So really, really love Matt Rhule as a recruiter, guys. I think he's awesome. Again, grassroots methods. We can sit here and talk about Lamborghinis and talk about Ferraris and talk about NIL. And that's what Texas and Texas A&M do. But a lot of times this Texas A&M stuff, not the Texas A&M stuff, this grassroots stuff, that really seals the deal, especially with parents. Parents love that. We have a lot of seniors this year. We have a lot of seniors this year because basically this was the last year of the the COVID eligibility. So if you look at our offensive line, man, I think every single starter in our O-line is a senior. Yeah, every single one. We have a bunch of seniors. You're right. So we'll lose a bunch of guys, but we're still gonna have a smaller recruit class. Again, it's gonna be about 26 because we're over capacity right now with the scholarships. We're still over capacity by like 10, 15. So yeah. But we do have a lot of seniors, which might be a topic for another day. Nebraska Rascal says, we definitely just need to start winning 8+ wins again, and more blue chip recruits will want to be at NU. Yeah, completely agree. Like, our brand is so good. People know about Nebraska. They know about the past. They know about, what we are as a team. And as much as these college football insiders and beat reporters and the fans of other teams will tell you that Nebraska's not relevant and Nebraska, doesn't get any national interest, they're lying to you. Like, Nebraska's still a very big brand. You just got to win games. And Nebraska has had good recruiting classes despite not making bowl games. Just imagine how good we're going to be if we win and how many 5-stars we're going to bring on campus. So, yeah, I agree, man. Just got to win consistently. All I know is we're beating Ohio State this year in the playoff really ain't the question with that schedule. I hope you are right, man. Again, it's just I'm still adjusting to this new college football playoff. The fact that you could basically make it even if you lose 2-3 games. If we go 10-2, we're probably looking at a college football playoff appearance. I'm just putting it out there, folks. So hopefully we do make that playoff. It's not happening this year. Let's be real, but maybe next year. But I'm never saying never. That good, we got that guy from Texas. Yeah, big news. Big news that we got that guy from Texas. Again, O-line, D-line. Get those 4 stars. Huge addition. Yep, we did get 31 last year. I remember it's a high number. We really, what was impressive about last year's recruiting class, we got 31. We got a bunch of transfers, and we barely lost anybody in the portal. So we basically only added guys. And we didn't lose many seniors either. Did you hear some players left Colorado this weekend? I don't know if you guys heard this rumor, but apparently there was this rumor going on this weekend that some players quit Colorado's football team because Deion Sanders forced them to go to a Lil Wayne concert where Shedeur Sanders was basically the opening performer, and they all quit. Some of them quit the team because I don't know if that's true. Don't get me wrong, but if that is true, that is the funniest thing. Oh my gosh. But yeah, guys are quitting Colorado left and right, and there's obvious reasons to that. Deion Sanders, I could sit and talk about Deion Sanders all day. Listen, I actually like Deion Sanders as a man. I think, he has good morals. I was honestly interested in Nebraska hiring him. I'm glad we didn't. But actions speak louder than words when it comes to Deion. And the way he runs his program's not the way it should be run, in my opinion. Again, he doesn't recruit high schoolers. he doesn't recruit at all. He basically forces guys to talk to him rather than him talking to them. And I just, a lot of times he, puts all this bullcrap narratives that everybody's out to get him or out to get his program. It's stupid. And I think, again, I like Deion as the person. I know a lot of people don't. I think he's genuine. I think he does things, I think he says what he means sometimes, but there's a lot of red flags that comes to him. But who I don't like his sons. I don't like Shador. I don't like Shiloh. And I hope Nebraska beats the brakes off of them. I hope we do. 11 plus doesn't sell us short or will continue to come up short. I'm not sure what you mean there. Dylan needs to start just because his deep ball is what Nebraska quarterback's been missing. Oh, yeah, Dylan's starting. Yeah, Dylan's starting. There's no quarterback battle. No, there's no quarterback battle. I love Colorado news. I love it. Yeah, I mean, it is funny. It's funny to see what happens there. Again, there's always something going on there with Colorado. And I think that when Deion Sanders is inevitably fired, because I think Deion Sanders, I think he has the capacity to actually be a good head coach, but he's just not utilizing it. He's going to be fired, whether that's this year, next year, we'll see. There's going to be a lot of funny stuff that comes up. There's a lot of stuff stories that are underground right now that we're going to hear from when Deion's fired. Lindsay, what's up? Welcome to the stream. We're going to smoke them. I hope so. I said that last year and I was proven wrong. So I don't really want to go after that again. Hackson says, careful as Colorado crazes might frame you again. Colorado fans are the worst. Worst fans. I don't really want to shed light to this, but I made a video probably 2 months on the channel at this point. I was talking about the Colorado game this fall. And there was a Colorado YouTuber who made a video about my video. Like, I've never talked to this guy in my life. And he basically called me a racist for for thinking Nebraska's going to beat Deion Sanders. Like, it was the stupidest thing. It was the dumbest thing. And I watched some of his other videos because I was like, who the heck is this guy? And that's basically the content he makes. He calls everybody a racist if they don't like Colorado. I don't like Colorado fans. I think I think they're idiots. And honestly, a lot of these new Colorado fans, they didn't start watching college football until Deion Sanders got hired. They have no idea how college football works, and they try to tell you about it like they're some experts. No, you're the idiots. We've been watching college football since we were babies. You guys just started watching because your lover Deion Sanders got hired by the Buffs. So Colorado fans are the worst, man. I'm going to be at that game. You better believe I'm going to be at the Nebraska-Colorado game in the North End Zone. If you're in the North End Zone, come say hi. We're going to be there. We're going to be loud. We're going to be proud. We're going to smoke the Buffs, man. No question about it. Get hype, guys. Get hype. Getting someone to commit in that fashion is great to build momentum. It may cause some FOMO for the bigger names to pull the trigger. I agree. Dylan is on a different level than the rest. Yep. Can Ovano get rid of the yips? I don't think so, man. I mean, Tristan Ovano missed a chip shot field goal in the spring game with 40,000 in the stands, dead silent. I mean, there's just something wrong with him, man. Yeah, he's talented. Yeah, he can kick the ball 70 yards, but I don't trust him, man. I'm hoping that the new kicker we have on campus, I believe his name Nico Automelli, I hope he's going to be a strong contributor, and maybe we'll fight him for that job. Some Colorado fans are saying Nebraska should thank Deion for getting Nebraska on national television in a night game. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, like Colorado was any good last year. They were worse than us. They were 4-8. They're a joke, man. Colorado's a joke. You know what the thing I hate most about Colorado? So Colorado started off 2-0. Then they proceeded to play Colorado State. And they went to, I believe, triple overtime against Colorado State. The entire game, it was on ESPN, go figure. And the announcers were just loving Deion Sanders. They were glazing him the entire game. They went to triple overtime against Colorado State, a group of 5 program. Then they won, and the announcer said, "Do you believe now?" referring to Deion Sanders. Like, you barely beat one of the worst teams in the country. What do you mean? And then they proceeded to lose the rest of their game. So I hate that. I just hate the media in relation to Colorado because they hyped that team up too much. Way too much, man. They were ranked. It was ridiculous. 20. Bro, what? Oh, this is not a dating app, Mike, man. You cannot put your credentials on this live stream, man. Mike, come on, dude. What are we doing here? You cannot put your credentials on here, dude. We're nobody. You're not looking for a date, dude. Panfilo says, if we can get, if you could, oh my gosh, I can't even talk. That was so funny. If you could go to one away game this year, which would it be? USC for me. I have thought about that. USC definitely is up there. Ohio State's up there. If we start off 7-0, I would love to go to the Ohio State game, even though I think we're going to lose. Iowa, of course, is probably up there too. We always play well in Kinnick. I just like rivalry games. So probably Ohio State, USC, Iowa are my top three. If I were to choose one, it'd probably be USC because of that weather. I mean, Iowa, if I were to go over to Kinnick in November, it'd be cold as heck. You know, USC might be fun to go to, but obviously I'm not going to USC. I'll be in the thick of college at that point. But I will be at every single home game, at least I'm hoping to. I will not be at the Illinois game. That's the Friday game. Will not be there. I hate that they put a Friday game at home. That's stupid. That is terrible. Awful. I hate that. He won't be there next year. Hope so, man. Hope Dion gets fired. Remember Dion? Yeah, accent. We thought of the same thing. That was the stupidest thing. I was watching that game probably like 1 a.m. because I went to literally triple overtime, and I was just cringing at that announcer. I believe it was Mark Davis. Just glazing Dion. You barely beat a Group of 5 program. Again, I don't know, man. The only fan base more delusional and annoying than Iowa is Colorado. Agreed. Colorado, worst fan base, man. Worst. I also hate Minnesota fans. Really dislike Minnesota fans. I think they're in the PJ Fleck cult. So those are up there for me, but yeah. I hope they went after that DT in the Simpson commit highlights. Not sure who you're referring to. Sorry I'm late. Are you going to Lincoln? I am not going to Lincoln. I'm going to I got booed last live stream. I said this, but I'm going to Creighton. Again, the only reason I'm going listen, Creighton's the better school. I mean, let's be real. Creighton is the better school. So I am going to Creighton, staying in Omaha. I got a full ride to go to Creighton. Like, I'm not paying any money. I'm not paying tuition. I'm not paying room and board. I'm not paying for food. I'm not paying for books. I'm really blessed. I mean, I worked really hard in high school, like really, really hard in high school. I had a 4.4 GPA. Did a bunch of clubs, so I'm blessed that I got that offer from Creighton. So I'm going to Creighton next year, guys. So please don't boo me. If you were in the same spot, you probably take that deal as well. Lincoln, unfortunately, did not offer the same deal that Creighton did. Public schools just don't offer as much money. And I think Creighton's a better institution, to be honest with you. Learn with Z. Object speaking, do you think Malachi Coleman will be good this year? It's tough, man. I mean, Malachi was out the entire spring. I think Malachi's so talented. I mean, he literally runs a 4.4 and he's 6'4". He's so freaking talented. It's unbelievable. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to keep that mindset. The one thing that scared me, somebody sent me a photo the other day. There was a Garrett McGuire, a wide receiver coach, took a picture with the wide receiver room. They're getting some work in this summer. Malachi Coleman was not in that picture. I don't know why. There's just always some rumors floating around with Malachi. But if he plays to his potential, yes, Malachi Coleman was going to be very good for us. I just hope it's now rather than later. Also, Ethan Nation is out, bro. Like I said earlier in the stream, Ethan Nation is not with the program right now, but it's stuff off the field. I believe it's academics. So, again, we're not putting out the fact that he might be with the program later down the line. So, I think he could be with the program in the fall. Again, he's not in the portal. He didn't quit on the team. If you look on social media, he's still repping Nebraska. The CU versus Stanford meltdown will live fondly in my heart for a long time. Dude, that was probably one of the best games I watched last year. That was awesome. That was so funny. I remember because I watched the first half and Colorado was beating the brakes off Stanford, and I was so angry. I would turn it off. Turn it back on fourth quarter. Like, Stanford's coming back. Holy cow. That was ridiculous. Lindsay says, who else will Nebraska get? We talked about it earlier. A lot of 4 stars on the way. The Huron says, to be fair, we are delusional as well. Yeah, Nebraska fans, we can sit here and say Colorado fans are delusional and Iowa fans are delusional. We're just as delusional. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I mean, we sit here every offseason and talk about Kool-Aid and talk about winning 10 games and winning offseason natty. So, yeah, we're just as delusional. But Colorado's toxic. We're not toxic. So that's the difference there. Hey, real quick, any Omaha people, any Nebraska people, put in the comment section if you are going to the College World Series this week. I'm going tomorrow. Might be there Wednesday as well. So if you're going to the College World Series, watch out for me. Watch out for some good baseball, man. I'm watching the game over here as a monitor. If you can't see it, but it's over here to my left-hand side. Tennessee playing North Carolina. We've had a lot of good games so far in the College World Series, dude. It's been awesome. Unfortunately, I just got back to Omaha. I missed the first 2 days because I was in Charleston, South Carolina. So let me know if you guys are going to the World Series. Thought on the possibility of corporate sponsors decorating Tom Osborne Field. Nebraska will and should never do that. We have too much history to do that. So yeah, we have too much history to do that. What are you going to Crane for? So yeah, I'm gonna be a finance major over at Crane. I'm looking to start a broadcasting program over there, so watch out for that. But yeah, I'm gonna be a major. I'm gonna be a finance major, and then might go to law school afterwards. We will see. We will see. What are the chances of us beating Ohio State? 10%, 5%. Ohio State's good, man. They're good. I mean, I expect us to be in the mix as well, but Ohio State, this is the best team they've had since Urban Meyer left. I think they'll probably be in the mix to probably beat Michigan this year. They should beat us. And it's at Ohio State. We would have a better chance if it wasn't Ohio State. Lindsay says you're going tomorrow. Hey, if you're going to that 1 o'clock game, I will be there. NC State versus Florida. So, yeah. Yep. Drew Beam tossed a Jim. Oh, yeah, you're watching this game too? Yeah, I'm watching here. What does it say? Eighth inning? Yeah, Tennessee's taking care of business. I wonder if Peyton's there. I wonder if Peyton Manning's there. Blue Jay fan. Yep. Sorry, man. Sorry. I like to tell people, I'm a J-Sker. I root for both teams. I root for Creighton. I root for Nebraska. Historically, I've rooted for Nebraska first, and I still will do that. Except for basketball, guys. I mean, I'm going to Creighton. I gotta root for the Blue Jays. I gotta root for Creighton basketball. So, again, don't hate me, guys. You guys know what's first. I mean, I'm a Nebraska football channel after all. So, yeah. And luckily, Creighton does not have football. So, yeah. Let's put it this way: other Nebraska football YouTubers don't even follow Nebraska basketball or Nebraska baseball. So, you're lucky that I do. Nebraska Rascal says, Wilson, did you mention the recruit we're trying to flip from Oregon? Yeah, I think I talked about him probably first 15 minutes. I just don't like our odds to get him. We were really in the mix to land him before we committed to Oregon. I think the visit was purely because of the fact that he was interested in Nebraska in the first place and he wanted to see what we were all about, but it was nothing more than that. I think he's going to stay with Oregon. They're offering him more NIL money. He'll stay put probably. Unless, Dylan Raiola can pull some strings. We never know. Mike says, I expect us to beat at least one team we shouldn't and lose one we shouldn't. I agree. I think we'll probably lose to Rutgers, at Rutgers, and I think we'll probably beat Iowa or Wisconsin. So, yeah. Darren says, thank you for all your hard work. This is the best Nebraska football info out there. I look forward to it daily. Keep up the good work. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, man. I mean, it's a grind. I've been posting daily almost every single day for the last, 5-6 months. I mean, it's wild. I never thought that I'd do that. My channel did not blow up until basically this late December going into January. I've been making YouTube videos for about 2 years now, and I just didn't do it regularly. And then I just locked in. I made videos a lot talking about recruiting, really changed my style up. Looking at some of my old videos, I was terrible. I was awful. And I just changed my whole philosophy, and I've been rewarded for it. And I'm just, most of all the things I'm grateful for live streams like this because, I love talking to you guys. I love talking to, other Husker fans who think the exact same way. That's the best part of this. So I'm just grateful for you guys. I'm grateful you guys tuned into my videos. Hit that like button, comment. I try to read every single comment. So I appreciate you guys more than you would know. And I recognize almost every single buddy in the comment section because you've either been my past live streams. I remember you guys. So I appreciate you guys so much. So again, thank you guys always for watching my stuff. I try to make the best content for you guys. We're all fans over here. We all love this team with all of our hearts. So appreciate that comment, Darren. Learn with the Z says 2016 we went 9-3. I can see that again going 9-3 this year too. But this year I think the offense defense will be better than that Mike Riley team. Hold on. Lindsay says the game was delayed tomorrow. What are you talking about? You mean yesterday? Anyways, going back to this comment, Yeah, I think we could be 9-3. That Mike Riley 2016 team was actually pretty good. I mean, Tommy Armstrong was playing at the peak of his powers. Our wide receiver core was good. Our running back core was good. I mean, really, really, really good team. But yeah, I could see us going 9-3. I tweeted this out like I think a month ago, and I said this is the best Nebraska schedule in terms of easiness we've literally seen since 2016. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to pull up the 2016 Nebraska schedule to start off the season. Holy crap, can I type? I'm going to pull this up and show you guys how easy this schedule was for Nebraska. Okay, let's share with you guys my screen. Okay, Nebraska started off their season with Fresno State, easy W. Wyoming, easy W. Oregon was ranked at the time, but Oregon, I think, won 4 games that year. We shouldn't have won that game by more. Northwestern, easy W. Illinois, Indiana, Purdue. That was the easiest start we have seen ever by a Nebraska football team until this year. This year is easier. So I could see us going 9-3. But again, just gotta lock in, man. We gotta win the games we're supposed to win. So yeah, really easy schedule. Hopefully we take advantage of that. Who's gonna win the Rocco's Challenge? I think Tennessee's going to win it because I also think Tennessee's going to win the Natty. It's either Tennessee or Texas A&M. Those are my two, but it's probably going to be Tennessee. I've been a Nebraska fan since 1958. Holy cow! Was that when you were born, Steven? Man, that's ridiculous. I'm a Nebraska fan since 2006. That was when I was born. And unfortunately, I have not seen the great highs and lows that a lot of you have. You've seen natties, you've seen bowl victories, you've seen big wins at Memorial. I haven't seen any of that. I mean, I was talking about this with my dad before, and I said the best memory I have as a Nebraska fan was one when we won against Northwestern, Hail Mary in 2013. I was at that game. And then number 2, when we played Michigan State, they were undefeated and we beat them. I think that was 2015. Those were my best Nebraska memories. A lot of your best Nebraska memories are winning national titles, So you've had a good fandom. Unfortunately, I was just born at the wrong time, I suppose. But hopefully, we're on the come up, and I pray every day that we are. Lindsay says yesterday, yeah. The College World Series game yesterday was backed up until I think they ended the game at 2 a.m. There was actually a lot of people in that crowd, but unfortunately, I flew in at, I believe, 6 back to Omaha, so I couldn't go to any of the games yesterday or the day before. Bradley says 9-3, too much uncertainty despite the schedule. Completely agree. Again, we just got to win games we need to win, and we're supposed to win, and we have not done that since Bo Pelini. Thoughts on the running back room? Emmett Johnson's running back 1, Dante Dowdle running back 2, Gabe Irving in the mix. Actually, no, scratch that. Gabe Irving running back 2, Dante Dowdle running back 3, and then Ramir Johnson basically has that pass for running back. It's very experienced for the first time in a long time. It's very experienced, we can say that, but there's not that key running back that you want. There's not that bell cow guy, that top 15, top 20 player. We just don't have that. So that's the big con. Do you have a prediction for Colorado season, bowl eligible? No, I think they're going 4-8 again. They have a kind of an easy schedule, but let's just roll through it. Let's have some fun here. Let's have some fun. Let's look at their schedule. Let's look at Colorado football schedule. Okay, North Dakota State. I know a lot of people want to say that North Dakota State will beat Colorado. Colorado will beat North Dakota State. Let's put that as a W. 1 win for Colorado. Nebraska, we win. Colorado State. It's tough. I like that it's not Colorado State. I'm going to give Colorado State the victory this time around. They have Torrey Horton, one of the best wide receivers in all college football. Baylor, at home, I think Colorado wins. Baylor sucks. Central Florida. Central Florida is not as good as they used to be. I'm going to give that to Colorado. That's 3 wins. Kansas State loss, Arizona loss, Cincinnati victory at home. That's 4 wins. Texas Tech loss, Utah loss, Kansas loss, Okie State loss. So we're looking at 4-8 here for Colorado. I could see them at most win 6, probably winning against Colorado State and winning against, maybe Oklahoma State, maybe, but I could see them at most win 6, at least 2. 2. So yeah, they're going to be a hot mess though. I think 4. I'm thinking 4. Take it back to the comment section. I've been a fan since 1983. Again, that's wild, man. Wild. Any chance we get Michael Terry? I think we have a good chance. I really do. A lot of times people hype up these official visits too much. I think Nebraska still has a very, very valid chance. We just we're not offering as much NIL money as those other schools are. That's the big problem. I got to see Mel Gray run punts at Missouri. That's ridiculous. I mean, again, I don't even know the name. I mean, that tells you how long. I mean, I'm a younger fan. Yeah, that's a long time ago. Accent says, I was at a wedding and they delayed it until after the wedding ended. Timing were perfect. Yeah, I didn't watch that College Series game at all yesterday. I think I watched probably maybe the first inning or two, but yeah, I woke up and saw that Texas A&M one, which I'm happy about because honestly, when it comes to College World Series, I usually root for the underdog, but I like rooting for the team that has the best fan base because that makes the games more entertaining to go to because I go to a lot of them. Mangum said hi. Hi, Mangum. I don't. What up? Jeremy says, have you talked about the new transfer quarterback that might come to Nebraska? Do you think is going to come? Yeah. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I'm not too, linked into the conversation. Like I saw it a little bit, I watched a little bit of the film, but I don't know the whole story. So I'm honestly not educated enough to talk about it, but, that would be nice to land his quarterback depth. That would be very nice. So yeah, I don't know the whole deal there with that JUCO kid, or I think he's from NAIA. So, yep. Been a Huskers fan since 1984. My birthday was last Friday, man. Happy birthday, Chris. Yeah. I mean, wow. That's a wild. 40 years. 40 years of being a Nebraska fan. Again, I can't say the same. NDSU won't be a cakewalk, though. I think it'll be a close game within 14 points. Oh, I agree. Like, NDSU, again, great program, but I think a lot of people are just projecting them to win because NDSU is good at the FCS level. It's just such a big jump up. It's such a big jump up. I think NDSU lost their opener. They usually play a Power 5 team almost every single year, and they usually lose it. I don't think that's going to change this year. Ja'Cory Barney as a kick returner, punt returner. Oh, yeah, he'll be in the mix for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he's your starter to begin the year against UTEP. He was awesome in the spring game, returning kicks. Yep, he was awesome. All right, guys, keep putting stuff in the comment section. We'll probably try to keep this live for maybe 5, 10, 15 more minutes. Again, appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Sunday. We try to do a live stream, from time to time, just to talk ball, talk Nebraska football. Again, while I wait for some more comments, let's talk about this upcoming season. Again, what you can expect from the channel. We're probably going to try to post every single day up until the season. The problem is that I will be at university when the season starts. So I probably won't post every single day. We're looking at maybe 3-4 times a week. Don't worry, that's plenty. But yeah, I mean, we're still going to be on the grind this summer, talking Nebraska recruiting, Nebraska football. Live streams, what you can expect from live streams. We're probably going to have maybe 2-3 more Sunday live streams, talking recruiting, talking Q&A just like this summer. I'm debating whether or not we should do live streams after the games this year. Again, I'm going to be at all the home games, so I obviously couldn't do it after then. But after some away games, we might go live. We might just make a video. So let me know if you guys prefer live streams, prefer video in the comment section. But yeah, been an awesome live, guys. Been an awesome live. Let me look at what we peaked at today. We've been live for a little while. Yeah, I mean, we're at 100 right now. We peaked at 166 today. That's really good. Really, really good stuff. And yeah, guys, in the top left corner, I have my social medias. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, make sure to hit me with the follow if you want to stay up to date with Husker content. Definitely, I tweet about the Huskers on Twitter. I don't really talk Huskers too much on my Instagram, but make sure to follow me if you guys want to hang out, or not hang out, but just chat a little bit about the Skurs. All right. These last couple of comments, we'll get to them before I get out of here, everybody. Again, put in your final thoughts about the program, about whatever you want answered. Do we need a new quarterback? I don't think we do. Dylan Rhule is your guy. Just got to hope he's healthy. We do need a kicker. What's up, Justin? Hope you're having a good night. Hope you're doing well. It's my man over there at the Nebraska Voice College Football. If you guys are not subbed to him, make sure to go over there. Do you think Tony White leaves after the season? I do, unfortunately, think he goes. UCLA, man. Or not UCLA, but a lot of these programs, they came calling this year, UCLA, Syracuse, San Diego State. Same deal is going to happen this year if Nebraska's defense takes the jump that we're expecting it to. So I do think Tony White probably will leave the program, unfortunately. But, Evan Cooper's probably going to be next up after that. He is going to be next up. Who is that track star Rhule brought in last year that hasn't played much football, if any? Jeremiah Charles, I believe you're referring to. Jeremiah Charles barely has played football in his career. A lot of people project him to start at cornerback this year. I don't think that's the case, but super athletically gifted. That's who you're talking about. What do you think about Dylan's brother? Check out my new video, Dayton Raiola film reaction. We went over that, Lindsay. I believe I posted that yesterday, Saturday. Toxin says, recently seen a podcast that said our win-loss record won't be the same with either Harburg or Raiola, or would be the same with either Harburg or Raiola. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, that's complete bull crap. I don't know who said that. That's terrible. If Harburg was our starting quarterback this year, our over-under would probably be 5.5. Probably. No, that's completely different. Have you reached out to either Connor Hayden or John Johnston? Really, I have not. Again, I appreciate both those guys' content. I do things a little bit differently on my channel. Like those guys, I love their stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm sub to them, but they don't talk recruiting at all. They don't talk off season at all. They're basically purely fall YouTubers. They make, content when the team's actually playing. I respect them, but, I do things differently. So they got good stuff over there at their channel. But speaking of that though, might have a collaboration coming soon with my man Justin over there at the Nebraska Voice College Football. So I try to get these collaborations going. I love talking with these guys. So again, if any of those guys, are watching this, they can feel free to contact me. Again, we'll keep pushing on this channel, man. We'll keep it pushing. All around says, do you know anything about Antonio Branch? Yeah, Nebraska, in my opinion, is the favorite to land him. We were in his top 4, now top 3. He recently canceled his visit to Florida. I think Nebraska is going to land him after he takes all his OVs. So, yeah. We need a receiver to have a Trey Palmer type season. I think that's going to be Jamal Banks. I absolutely think that's going to be Jamal Banks. He's going to be a 1,000-yarder. And I said this before, but Samori Toure wasn't a 1,000-yarder before he got to Nebraska. And obviously, he was a draft pick. Trey Palmer only had, 300 yards at LSU before he went to Nebraska and then blew up. Jamal Banks has probably been the most talented transfer of the 3 to actually come to Nebraska. Let's see how much he progresses because he's a stud. He's a stud. He has the potential to be a first-round draft pick. Toxin says, I know who you're talking about, and I can't believe he says that with a straight face. Yeah, I don't know who said that. What he's referring to is the podcast. I don't understand. I don't know who said that. If it was a Nebraska beat reporter, that's terrible. That's a terrible statement by whoever said that. There's a lot of Nebraska talking heads, but a lot of times you will see that they just don't know what they're talking about, man. A lot of these beat reporters, I think they a lot of times they facilitate too much Kool-Aid. They talk too positively about this program. Like, I like to be positive as well, but we also need to be serious. When we're bad, we need to be honest. We were bad with Heinrich Harburg. Heinrich Harburg is not a good quarterback. Let's be real. Let's just put it out there. All love to Heinrich. I love him as a person. I think he's a great dude. He was just not a good quarterback. Let's put it out there. All right. Melissa says, Lloyd's going to be really good. Yeah, Jalen Lloyd's your wide receiver 2 this year. Runs a 4.3 speed. That guy's the real deal. Chris says, thank you, man. Yeah, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. The big 4-0. It's awesome. All right, guys, I think I'm going to get out of here. Anybody put your final thoughts in the chat. But again, thanks for joining me on this live stream. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this. We'll probably aim to do one, every 2 weeks. And hey, guys, the new college football video game is coming out soon. I don't know if you guys play video games at all, but I want to mess around trying to stream that game. Maybe put that on the channel, like just stream, Nebraska playing on that video game. I think it might be fun. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. But again, thank you guys all for tuning in today. Again, that top left. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I don't know if you guys are on Twitter, if you guys are on Instagram, feel free to do so. Just thought I'd put it out there. But yeah, appreciate all the support as always, guys. I mean, I have some of the best subscribers in the country. I want to put that out there. I love you guys. It's different, man. Again, I've grinded a lot on YouTube over the last 2 years, and just the fact that I've got so much support over the last 6 months, man. And we're nearing 4,000 subs. It's wild. It is wild. I put my heart into it, and I'm glad that you guys really, really reciprocate. So I appreciate you guys more than you know. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to this stuff. Nebraska recruiting heating up. I'm excited. I hope you are too. We're going to be in for a good season. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Enjoy your night. Go Big Red, everybody. And I will see you in the next one.